Hello, I'm David Andersson, and welcome to the guide on the impossible difficulty for the third chapter of Dead Space 3, which takes place on the C.M.S. Roanoke. When you are in the room with the weapon bench in it, be sure to climb the right ladder since there's some loot on the platform you get onto. There are also lockers and various other places in which you can find loot in the room. Power the door by inserting the battery into the receiver. When you enter the corridor and encounter the first enemy, turn around straight away and go back through the door. Enemies won't follow you through that door, but I also seem not to be able to damage enemies when I was on the other side of it. Edge into the corridor and shoot at the enemies when you can, but when they get too close, be sure to back off through the door and the enemies will stop going after you. Sometimes enemies seem to be dead, but when you get close to them, they start attacking you again. When an enemy goes down too easily, be sure to shoot them in the limbs a few more times to make sure they are dead. Be sure to loot the corridor. Next, you get into an assembly room. Be sure to loot the lockers. Before you go up the stairs, start shooting at the body hanging from the roof, which will drop down and attack you. Sometimes they will start to run at you. In that case, use stasis on them and shoot their legs off. There's another enemy hanging from the roof, and once you have dealt with him, another will start to come at you. After you have killed him, that is it for now. Be sure to loot the room thoroughly, as there is plenty of loot around. After the assembly room, you get into another corridor with enemies hanging from the roof. There is plenty of space to retreat before them, so be sure to use that space. 3 enemies in total will come at you. Although it didn't happen to me, be sure to use stasis on a particularly aggressive enemy. When you get to the far side of the corridor, an enemy will attack you from behind. Use stasis to keep it at bay and shoot its leg out. Next, you get into a large room without gravity. 3 enemies with tentacles that shoot projectiles at you will have to be dealt with there. Be sure to stay back to avoid getting hit by them and dodge projectiles as required. It is best to wait for them to extend their tentacles, then shoot the tentacles off with the plasma cutter. After you have taken off 2 tentacles, which requires 2 hits each, the enemy will die. After going up the stairs, you get into the generator station. You have to pull down the rings until they light up, then you have to initiate them by turning the wheel above each ring. After you've activated the first ring, 4 enemies will attack you. 3 of them on the ground and 1 more enemy with tentacles. Once again, if an enemy starts to run at you, use stasis on it. First, turn left and take out the 2 enemies that come from that direction, walking towards them. Then turn around and take out the enemy behind you. After taking out the enemies on the ground, focus on the tentacle enemy that is on the walls. Activating the next ring won't spawn enemies, but after the last ring, 2 enemies will start to come at you, but from a far distance, so they should be easily dealt with. After you have activated the generator, 2 tentacle enemies will spawn. Take out their tentacles and stay back as far as possible to avoid getting hit by them. All that is left now is to go up the elevator, and it will be the end of the chapter. So, there you go. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time.